Hello everyone, welcome back to another UK film review video review. My name's James Learoyd and today I will be talking about a new feature-length comedy called Pickleball, the movie. It's directed by Hamm and written by J.D. Walters and Justin Chaffee, and it stars Kevin Farley, Willie, Mellina and Justin Sterner. It's around 2 hours, a little under 2 hours in length, although I would say the credits start actually about 1 hour 46, but then there are bloopers and what have you. And it's sort of a sports comedy about a community centre that after the sudden death of the person who owns the community centre, he has a heart attack while playing pickleball. They fear that because of his spending that the community centre is going to go under, and so his two sons have to band together with the help of our, I guess, protagonist priest to play a pickleball tournament and win back the money and, keep the community centre for everyone, for the benefit of everyone. It's an absurd and ridiculous kind of story, and quite an amusing comedy. I enjoyed this quite a lot. I think I'm mostly quite positive on this one. It has its ups and downs, but, overall, as a concept and for its execution, this is a very entertaining film, and it works, almost all of the way through. But let's start with the technical, because it's actually quite intriguing that on a technical level and on a cinematic level, this is a really effective, piece of work. In terms of the formatting and the equipment used and some of the cinematography, I was really impressed by the way this movie looks. There's a lot of impressive equipment being used. It's a film shot on anamorphic lenses, and it looks really quite beautiful because of that. They take full advantage of the kind of glistening widescreen format by doing some really impressive lighting, combination of natural light and artificial light, lens flares coming across the screen. Everything looks really vibrant, and then the artificial lighting itself is so nicely balanced. Everyone's faces look really really nice and sort of, as I say, sort of glistening in this style of cinematography. The only thing I would say is that the color grading, whilst really really competent and technically well done, I would say is a little bit oversaturated for my taste. Then again, it does suit the whole tone of the film. So there's that. Also, in terms of the cinematography, there are some really nicely composed shots and really great moments of camera movement. A dolly was used for a lot of this film, and a crane. And I was just thinking, wow, this is a proper production, and they've thought about each shot quite carefully. At the beginning, I found that there was a little bit too much sort of general coverage and a little bit too much cutting, and I was like, oh, I don't know about the style of this movie, whether I like it. But eventually, during dialogue scenes and during scenes with a little more of a purpose, as the film progresses and we get into the story, I was thinking, on a visual level, and the audio actually, there's not really much of anything to complain about. Any complaints are to do with the story, and the characters and the humour, what have you. And much of that is successful as well, but let's get into that a little bit. So there's an intriguing thing going on though, which is that it is, for so much of it, such an absurd kind of comedy. But then also it tries to be a little bit more of a serious drama. Not a serious drama necessarily, but it tries to have its dramatic elements too, and sometimes that does work, and sometimes that doesn't work. So I would say that because it's such a ridiculous style of comedy, the fact that it's almost 2 hours works against it slightly. I don't believe necessarily in a lot of the characters. However, where the dramatic tensions do work best, I would say, is actually in the characters of the two adult brothers who are the sons of the man who has died. At first, they're just a sort of ridiculous double act who hate each other. But then, as the film progresses, I was quite charmed by how they were like reconnecting and reflecting on their childhood and actually trying to support each other. Again, it's all very silly, but the two actors play it really well, and it is actually quite well written. So I would say that's, on a dramatic level, the aspect of the story that works the best, and is also, quite funny. But then again, so one of those characters is called Miles. I would say one of the most sort of annoying aspects of the film is that for a long time the joke about Miles is that he's so handsome that just every woman in the story is just like trying to go for him and flirt with him, and they worship him. This is funny the first couple of times. But once it becomes an actual plot point and we're meant to believe in this, I lose faith in this aspect of the script, and it becomes sort of aggravating or just unconvincing. It's just sort of such an old-fashioned kind of trope, or let's say like execution of that trope. Eventually it drops it a little bit once he finds his sort of main love interest. But even that, I think, could be a bit better executed. But yeah, that's a couple of complaints there. I would say that my favourite moments of humour involve the really just ridiculous and fantastical elements. For instance, the guy who has died, he sticks around. He's a ghost now, and he's, doing wisecracks. He's making puns related to ghost humour. And humour like that's just very simple and silly. It works for me, and I can see how other people might not enjoy it, but I liked that they were taking a big swing and doing something very silly. But yeah, overall, what we have here is a film that I can't give any less than 3 stars, because on a technical level, the audio, the visuals, it all works very nicely. It's a successful piece of filmmaking. However, in terms of the humour and the characters and the runtime, that's more where I sort of question, maybe the quality of the storytelling a little bit. But even with that, there were things I really enjoyed, and moments that had me chuckling, moments where I was really enjoying the characters playing off each other. So yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag of a movie, but yeah, for the most part, it's enjoyable, and I think that a lot of audience members will feel the same way. So yeah, that's my review of Pickleball the movie.